Hi everyone, this is Tina, and in today's video I'm working on what I call the backyard retaining wall garden. I haven't come up with a cute name for it yet, so maybe you guys can help me with that. So if you have been here, you know that I'm in eastern Nebraska, zone 6A, and we have a 145-foot flower bed by 7 at the smallest point. Some of the garden is more than that, but we call that Garden Avenue. Well, so Garden Avenue, I'll kind of give you like a little bit of a span of that. This on this side here, because we're looking towards the front of the house, this whole space here is Garden Avenue. Okay, so all of this spans 145 feet. But we have a small section over here. Now, mind you, apologize, mess. If you have also watched some of the videos, you know how dangerous this tree is. We've had multiple different branches break during storms. And you can see we just had a storm last week and a huge branch came down. And that's the reason why we just really can't do anything in our future Zen garden up here until something happens with that tree. But anyway, this section here that is on the other side of the stairs to go up to the top of the retaining wall is this flower bed, and it's been curbed in like the rest of the curbing that is in Garden Avenue, so it's really uniform. However, I can't get over here to do as much work because of the way that the tree is. In fact, there is a branch up there. I don't know if you could see it. I'm going to see if I can't try to zoom in on it. But there is a branch up in this section here where it has a tail that is not attached to anything, and it is going to come down at any moment. So I am having to just be very careful when I am working over in this section here, because if we have loose branches and it has a slight breeze today, that branch could come down on my head. So don't know where it's going to land. Anyway, I have been working in this flower bed, and I'm just trying to pull weeds, trying to get it nice and clean. But some of the flowers that I have in here, the roses are doing really well. They look really beautiful. The hibiscus. The reason why I really kind of heavily planted hibiscus in this area is because when it does rain, this is like clayish soil. It was when they built the retaining wall in 2021, they used fill dirt, which had no amenities in it. So the drainage situation in this bed here is a lot different than the rest of the yard. So I planted hibiscus, which love the extra water. They can soak it up and take it away from the rest of the plants that don't need as much water. But another reason I planted some Russian sage back here is because Russian sage has a tick and mosquito property in it that helps with mosquito repellent and tick repellent. So if I come over here, I just grab a little bit, wipe it on my hands, and then I just kind of try to get my body covered with some of the Russian sage fragrance or the sap that comes out of it, and it protects me from the ticks and from the mosquitoes. And because this is an area that gets quite a bit of shade, like right now you can see that there's some sun, some dappled sun in this area, but pretty soon it is not going to be sunny in this area. It's going to be more shade. So I tried to plan things in this area that can handle both sun and shade, things that are easy to maintain in case I can't get in here and do anything. So irises are kind of my big thing in this bed. These are already spent, but if I could show you one bloom that we have left, it's these dark purple ones, and they're absolutely stunning. But both of these sections here, both this section and this one, are both the dark purples. I do need to come in here and kind of divide them up a little bit. They have been reproducing here for the last few years, and I just need to come in and dig them up and maybe relocate some of them. I also need to come in to this dogwood. Now, I absolutely love this dogwood. It was a volunteer tree, and it's a multi-trunk. So I've just been coming in every year and limbing it up, which I still need to limb up the space here to give it a little bit more breathing room. But it is gorgeous. I love this tree. I love the fact that it was an absolutely free tree, which you don't get that very often. If you're going to get free trees, you usually get the ones that are like invasive and huge, and this one is not going to get huge. It's perfect location right here. I am just in love with this tree. You can see some of the Globemaster Alliums are still blooming, and this is a climbing rose. This is an Eden. Now, unfortunately, it has not bloomed for me at all since I got it. I am very, very hopeful that I'll get some blooms off of it and it can continue to keep climbing up the lattice, but it is doing much better. I've got a couple canes in there. It's doing really, really well. I do need to come in and prune off some of the stuff, but it may be just because of the amount of shade it gets. It's just not performing as well, because roses do need more sun. But this section here gets more sun than any other section in this flower bed. So that was the reason why I planted it there. And we know that roses can do something here, since we've got this rose here. I have another rose over on the other side, but that one blooms, but it is not doing the greatest. So I think I need to relocate that rose. But it is the same lavender pink rose. No, my mistake. It's actually a Vanessa rose, and it's yellow, and there is a bud here. I just need to get a cage, like a rose obelisk, over this area so it has a place to go. It does look like it has gotten nipped by different bugs and stuff, I think. If I had to guess, I think those are spider mites that are in there. So I really need to just treat it and try to make it a little bit more happy. But I have gotten a lot of the weeding done. I still have to get towards the back of the bed, back there, in that section there. Nobody really sees it, but again, I need to get in there and clean it. I maybe hit this once a year. I'm really bad, but I just can't. I can't allocate the time to this bed when I have that risk above my head. And I don't want to encourage my grandchildren to come over into this section here because it's so dangerous. When I was in limbing up the dogwood, which looks so much better, has a little more airflow in there, but I noticed that there were some branches that looked like they were floppy and dreary, and it is because this branch that fell the other day is encroaching in the garden bed, and I didn't even realize it until I was getting in there and I saw it. So I need to come and get my electric pruners and kind of cut these back. Sure enough, another branch came down. Today is a windier day for us. So now the new branch that came down is now resting on the fence. So this branch just came down. And that's not even the dangerous one. So there's, if you look up in the tree, the one that I have been watching is this one that has an end to it, just kind of sticking up in the air. It's really hard for me to see it, but I think it is right in here. I'm gonna see. Here is this section. So there is a branch right there resting on top of this bigger branch. That end is just by itself. And that belongs to a branch that's just resting on top of a bigger branch. So that's the one that I was worried about falling. I had no idea about this one, where this one even was coming from. And oh, in fact, you can see the branch leaves are different. See where the branches are kind of dead and droopy? That belongs to that branch there that is just sitting on top, very loose. So that is justifiably the reason why we just cannot do any type of like extreme work back here in our backyard, and we just have to leave that area above the retaining wall. We have to leave it alone. There isn't anything that we can do. Okay, well, I got most of the mulching done. I still have a few little places to fill in, kind of towards the back where I need to weed still. But because it's so windy, I don't want to be in the back of the flower bed for very long, just because I don't know where that branch is going to fall. So I think overall it looks really good for trying to dedicate some of that time today to this area. I think it's going to be really nice. I don't think I'm going to have to do very much more work in here, but just wait until the wind dies down. So that is going to conclude my gardening in this section for today. It is really warm, multiple breaks. I am ready to go inside and cool down. So I just wanted to show you the danger zone garden bed and how I am trying to keep it low maintenance, just enough to make it look good for the rest of the season. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you next time. Have a great garden day.